Hello, all of you. Here we begin with the last class for the charitable trust. Now, when I'm saying the last class for the charitable trust, we have finished with all the concepts. We have finished with all the problems. Only some amendments we need to do. So when I'm doing registration part today, which is completely amended, with that, I will revise all the other amendments also, which we have completed earlier, especially in the applications. So let this coming 1 hour be for all the amendments applicable to charitable trust. Okay. So I'm starting right now with charitable trust registration procedure, which was given in section 12AA. Previously, from this financial year 21-22, registration of a trust is done under section 12AB. So this procedure of registration is completely changed, and accordingly, we will also just discuss what all are the new procedure for registration, and from that, I'll try to give maximum registration dates, all with example, because I am expecting they may ask you questions also from this. Okay. Now, why so much of changes in registration procedure? Then the reason is, just sorry, 1 second. Okay. Then the reason is charitable trust, they are registered with the object which is for general benefit of the public, like poor, education, relief of the poor, yoga, all that. So charitable trust is registered with a specific object and for the benefit of the public in general, right? Now, if a trust is registered in 1990s, in the year 2000, and now it is 22 end, now what is happening, that over this period, the trust is following what they have been meant for or not? Is the object of the trust being followed? Are they applying the money properly? Is there a discipline in the trust? So who is checking all these activities? Trust has got registration, and what activities exactly they are doing to match? Who is checking? Of course, subject to some conditions, audit is necessary and mandatory. The trust has to file the return, but still. So for this, from financial year 21-22, they said every trust should be registered afresh. First question in your mind is, ma'am, existing trust, should they also register again? Answer is yes. I will teach you everything in table form very clearly with example, but this is just the introduction, so listen to it very carefully. What I am saying is the trust required, existing trust, which is already registered under 12A and everything is going super fine, do they need to re-register? Answer is yes. Within 3 months of the beginning of the financial year 21-22, that is by 30th of June 21, existing trust has to re-register by filling up the form online, submitting all whatever they say online, and they will be granted registration for 5 years. No trust is granted registration for more than 5 years, not lifetime registration. After 5 years, very simple procedure, but just they need to re-register. So this is the story of existing trust. Now, ma'am, some applications on 1st April. Okay, I think this is nice concept. Let us put it in the notebook. I am doing it here, and then we will take it up in the problems form also. Okay, these are all the problems what we have completed. Yeah. A doubt you have been asking, and I want to clear it, that sometimes we are taking gross receipts by 15%. Sometimes. So in exam, if they give you directly net income computed from property, from voluntary or from business directly on that 15%, otherwise always gross receipts 15%. But in the gross receipts, if there are anonymous donations or corpus donations, you need to minus. This is a clarification. These are all the problems what we have done yesterday. Now see, yeah, some of you have left yesterday. In the last part, I have done political party and electoral trust. See, these are the topics. Just don't ignore them completely and don't try to dive and do too much in them. little bit just touch and crux uska yaad rakh lo, so that you score marks in MCQs. So remind me to revise the political party and electoral trust in 5 minutes. I'll tell you what important points you need to take care for exam. Right now we are in the registration of trust. Nothing to write, huh? This is all given in your material, but to fit into your mind, I'm explaining. Registration of trust, it is mandatory from financial year 21-22. Every trust registration of the trust is mandatory. All, old, new, applying and all. First one, existing trust. If it is existing trust, within 3 months from the date of the financial year. So financial year starts from here. So by 30th of June 2021, they have to apply for registration. Registration is valid from 5 years and no inquiry will be done. Generally, all their documents, whatever they need for re-registration, online this is. Now, existing trust is so clear. What about existing applications? Can there be, ma'am, existing applications pending under old section of registration 12A? Dear students, don't try to search 12A in your material or 12AA. You will not get it because it is not applicable. But suppose I applied for registration on 1st March 2021 and my application was pending by 31st March 21, yet not approved, then all application pending now will be registered. Now it will be registered under section 12AB. Tell me, is this clear to all of you? Existing trust, existing applications, all have to take registrations under 12AB. Now, new trust.
Can you just scroll up for a minute?
Yeah. These are just running notes. If you want to write, okay, write it. So existing trust, 1st April 21, 3 months ke andar you have to register, 5 years validity. If existing application is pending, it's now shifted. Assume that they have also applied under 12AB, and how you grant registration for the new trust, same procedure you apply for them also. So now, in this case, if it is a new trust and if they are asking for registration, then can they make application? Yes. When? 1 month prior to financial year for which they want registration, for which registration required. Nice concept. Oh, it's a new trust. They want to take registration. Whenever they want to start the new trust, 1 month prior to that financial year. So if suppose the trust wants to register from financial year 21-22, when is the date of application? I'll give you a lot of examples. And if you feel you need to write it, I'll pause. After explanation, you can write. Registration of the financial year is 21-22. Then date of application. Date of application 1 month prior. Can I say by 28th February 2021, you need to apply. 1 month prior to the date for the financial year for which you want registration. Ma'am, but suppose I want registration needed from 1st October 21. You know, 1st October is my birthday. It's not actually my birthday, just an example. Auspicious date, I'm being an author and founder of a trust. I want to register the trust from 1st October. At least 1 month prior, okay? 1 month prior to the date of the application, apply for registration. So 1st October के पहले क्या होगा आपका? 1st of September 2021. Now you can't say, ma'am, registration is needed from 21-22, no? So 1 month prior to the financial year. But if it is a new concern, the financial year is starting from in between 1st October. So first October, if you want to start, you cannot dream of applying on 20th of February. Are you getting? So then just apply on 1st of September 2021. Now, new trust. I always say that whenever the trust is registered, we say them, chalo, give us all the details, whether your activities are genuine and or not. So existing trust will do that. Okay. So without much inquiry, their registration is renewed. But in new trust online application, if you tell them, let us see, are you working? Array, the trust is yet to register, yet to commence the business. Then the first registration, no inquiry, provisional registration is given. Provisional registration is given for 3 years. All in tabular form I have given in your material, but still if you want to write right now, to dekh lo. So 3 years from the assessment year for which the registration is sought and a copy of such. So no inquiries will be done here. New trust, no? Provisional registration is given. While your registration is provisional, do you need to apply again for the final registration? Yes. Now first you tell me, any doubt in these 3 cases? Anyone? Unmute and ask.
To whom the application will be given, ma'am?
Application will be given to the PCIT, CIT officers. Okay, and this is like all online. You need to submit all the applications, everything in the form. And the registration will always be granted for 5 years in case of existing, and some more 2-3 cases are there. But only in case of new trust, because yet they are not sure are you are meeting for the object of the trust properly or not, it will be a provisional registration for 3 years. And highlight of this is without any inquiry. And sometimes even without the provisional registration is given for 3 years, even if trust activity is not started. These are all online now. Forms you need to download and upload. Forms we are not going to learn, not required much in detail now. So 3 things.
If we are submitting application 1 month prior, it is assumed that after 1 month, the registration.
1 month from the end of the month in which you submit the application, they will grant provisional registration. So if you submit the application, suppose you wanted from 1st of October. So at least 1 month prior to that, and by the end of the month, 1 month from the end of the month, whenever they receive, they will grant the registration. Clear or not? So 1 if you want to write and 1 you want to check, we can do like that. The third one is only most important. So all of you please come on page number 9. I think rather than moving ahead with more of the different examples, let us complete this part. This is capital gain and all. Look at the screen. Registration of a trust. The person in receipt of income has made application in the prescribed form and manner to the principal commissioner, PCIT commissioner and all for registration. And this is all online under section 12AB. Today I was teaching income from other sources to inter students, and they have this, that if the trust is giving them gift, charitable trust which is registered under section 12AB is giving gift, to their from the trust, scholarship gift and education gift to whoever are the toppers. Is it taxable? Because gift above 50,000 are taxable. Answer is no. So there also the date of, the section for registration is 12AB. Now check up first the 6th case only. In any other case, write down over here, new trust. Write down in your material, new trust applying for registration. 6th bit is applicable. Now for the time limit, if there is a confusion, read it with me. At least 1 month prior to the commencement of the previous year, relevant to assessment year for which registration is sought. From the time when you want the registration, at least 1 month. This is at least, but definitely if you want to apply from 1st October, you will not wait exactly one. You can apply in the month of May, June, July, anytime. So at least 1 month prior to the commencement of the previous year relevant to assessment year from which registration is sought, application should be made. And now in procedure of the registration, cases covered under serial number 6, this last case, what they have given, pass an order within 1 month from the end of the month in which application was received. Within 1 month from the end of the month in which application was received in writing, provisional registration will be given for period of 3 years from the assessment year for which registration, and send a copy. And here please write down without inquiry. Without inquiry. Now is it clear? 1 month from the end of the month in which application was received in writing, provisional registration will be granted. Let us go to that example in case of new trust. 1 month prior to the previous financial year for which registration is required, you make an application. So if you want the registration from 21-22, make application on 20th of February. And 1 month from the end of the month in which you made application. So yahan se plus, from here it is made the application in February. So plus 1 month. 1 second. Plus 1 month. So 1 month from 28th February, 28th of March, within 1 month, that is before 31st March 21, you will get the provisional registration. Here, 1st October, no? So 1 month prior to that, before 1st September. So September you have applied, no? So 1 month from the September. That is here, you might be little late according to your date. So better don't apply cut to cut, apply before that. At least 1 month prior to the date you want to start your financial year or your trust. Before that you should apply. And from the end of the month in which they receive the application, within 1 month provisional registration will be granted for 3 years without any inquiry. Is this case clear? And existing applications are all transferred from 12A to 12B. Ye to clear hai. Now, existing trust from 1st April, within 3 months, they need to apply. So that's very simple. For 5 years, it is made and simple procedure. Now come to this. Yeah, look here. In case of existing trust covered in the above point, first point, when the trust or institution is already registered, write down over here, it is nothing but existing trust. When they need to apply, 3 months from the first day of April 21. That is nothing but 30th of June 2021. First day of April, say 3 months, or you can say 1st July. Tak, you have to make application and all the pass an order within 3 months from end of the month in which application was received. So you can make application in April, May, June. Suppose you make in May, then from May, within 3 months from the end of the month in which application is received, in writing, registering the trust, you will get the certificate. Right here also 5 years. Anytime the trust is registered for 5 years, except provisional registration, which is for 3 years. Once I finish this, in between, I'm saying, remind me, I will take all the other amendments also, which are there in the trust. We have already finished, but this is an amendment. So let us discuss all the other amendments also. Now, when the trust has been granted provisional registration, I'm taking this part first. Oh, provisional registration is given And it is valid for how many years? 3 years. At least 6 months prior to the completion, prior of the completion of the provision registration, or within 6 months from the commencement of activity, whichever is earlier, you need to apply for the final registration. Provisional trust, within 6 months prior to the provisional registration, means the completion of the provisional registration. 6 months prior of the provisional registration, you can add the word here, completion of the provisional registration, or within 6 months of the commencement of its activity. Okay, 6 months is a good time to prove, no sir, we have been registered provisionally, last 6 months this is our activity, can you confirm our registration and make it as final? Yes. Okay, so within the 6 months, again when you make application, they will make it approved. Whenever you make application, generally they are taking 6 months time. Here 6 months for application, 6 months for the registration. So within 6 months you will get the registration done, and it will be valid for 6 years. See, they will do all inquiry now. यहाँ पे लिखो provisional registration inquiry, रजिस्ट्रेशन इनऑपरेटिव हो गया तो भी इंक्वायरी, मॉडिफिकेशन हो रहा है इंक्वायरी, एग्जिस्टिंग ट्रस्ट नो इंक्वायरी, डन. Just simple form. For trust or registration 12AB and the period of registration is due to expire, within that again you can renew it. Okay, for 5 years. So for all these cases it is like inquiry is necessary. First time when you are applying, no inquiry. So how many cases are over? Existing trust. Within 3 months you need to apply, and whenever you apply, within 3 months you will get the registration. Are you clear? Existing trust, apply within 3 months, get registration within 3 months, valid for 5 years. New application, apply 1 month prior, get the provisional registration for 3 years. Once you get provisional registration, 6 months prior to completion of the provisional registration, or 6 months after commencement, within 6 months after commencement, apply for final registration. This will be now with inquiry. These are all case 2 to 5, all with inquiry. You can write here, all with inquiry. That's why they are saying the PCIT or the officer will call for document or information from trust. I am explaining you the procedural part now. Or make inquiries as he may think necessary in order to satisfy himself about the genuineness of the activities of the trust. Is trust genuinely doing charitable activities and compliance of such requirement? 1 second, please give me 1 second time. Yeah, thank you for waiting. Chalo. एक तो trust की activities are genuine or not, and second is compliance of such other requirement or any other law for timing in force by the trust or as a material for the purpose. So is trust actually involved in other activities, and are they complying? Yes. So genuineness and compliance they will check. After satisfying about the object of the trust and genuineness and all, pass order within 6 months from the end of the month in which application was received. And this will be valid for 5 years. And if he is not satisfied, pass the order for rejection or cancellation after affording a reasonable opportunity of being heard, and send the copy of such order to trust also. Okay? So they may accept your application 6 months from the end when you have applied, or rejected. Tell me, is my speed very fast, confusing, or clear? I know you will have to read it repeatedly. It's like a procedure, no? उसको बार बार पढ़ना पड़ेगा. And existing trust is clear. And when the trust is applying for new registration, provisional registration. Provisional में देखो same point. Pass an order 1 month from the end of the month for received writing provisional registration for 3 years. And from the time you get provisional registration, वहां से whenever 6 months before the provisional registration is getting over, or 6 months from starting the commercial activities, you again need to apply for final registration. The third case, again within 6 months final registration will be given. We can write this in the same example. Check with me all of you. Ye dekho. Existing trust, so they need to apply by 30th of June and 5 years with just simple forms, so that at least, you know, cross-checking they can do. Now this is a new trust. Okay. When did they apply new trust? 20th of February. Within 1 month, by 31st March 21, new trust got provisional registration. Can I continue the same? Huh? Provisional registration is given. In example 3, provisional registration granted on 31st March 21. Chalo. 2 nahi, 1. Yay, same example. You applied on 28th February, within 1 month from the last day of the last date of the month in which you applied, they granted you the provisional registration. Now, provisional registration is granted. Now, apply for final registration. Final registration. Now, 2 dates are there. A bit. 6 months prior to completion. 6 months prior to completion. Of provisional period. How many years is provisional period? 3 years. So that is, provisional period is closing 31st March 21 plus 3 years. 31st March 22, 23, 24. Are you all with me? 31st March 24, the provisional period is getting over. Minus 6 months. Prior to that, 6 months. So we have to make application by 30th September 2023. Oh, the 6 months May provisional period is getting over. Please grant us final registration. Or B bit. Within 6 months of commencement of the activity. Suppose when did you get the registration? 31st March 21. Suppose commencement of activity. You commenced all your actual activity from 1st May 2021. Just a tentative date. You got the registration on 31st March 21. Provisional. But you have commenced activity on 1/5. Then from here, plus 6 months. Within 6 months. Okay. Whichever is earlier. Generally, what do you think? The 6 months only will be over, no? So within 6 months from the commencement of the activity. So first May say 1st June, 1st July, 1st August, 1st September, 1st October, 1st November. I don't know. I am expecting one-liner date question because there's a major amendments. That's why I'm giving so many examples. Commencement of activity. Are you able to write with me? कि कहीं लग रहा है speed ज़्यादा है तो ask me to pause and then I'll give you time. Suppose you got registration here. 1 second. Commencement of activity within 6 months. Now, apply for final registration. 1st September 21 or 39/23, whichever is earlier. Whichever is earlier. How is this? All clear to all of you? So which is earlier? Obviously this. So by 1st September, okay, we gave you provisional registration on 31st March. You applied on 28th February. Within 1 month, we gave provisional registration applicable for 3 years. But once we gave you registration, You commence the activity within 2 months only, 1st May. So within commencement of activity ke 6 months ke andar, you have to apply for final registration. And that registration 5 years period will cover your provisional period also. 1st April जहां से आपका provisional period शुरू हो रहा है वहां से cover हो. You want to write this example? Then complete writing. I've put line across for all the examples so that it is clear. Write down. It's a nice example, and if you have any doubt, ask me. While writing, I was explaining, so if it is not clear, ask me at any point. All right. Is it all clear?
Madam, is it 1st September 2021 or 1st November 2021, madam?
Yeah, within 6 months they have to apply. 1, 5, no, 1, 6, 1, 7, 1, 8, 1, 9, 1, 10, 1, 11. Yeah, correct. 1, 11. Correct. Within 111, they need to make the application. Done. Now let us take the 5th case. Write down all of you with me. The next, that is the 5th case. Okay. Where registration of the trust becomes inoperative. When it's not valid, you may not be doing proper activities, or for any other reason, if the trust is working for the object, or some authors and all are undue benefit they are taking. So when registration of trust is inoperative, this part is very simple. Then when you need to make application, again same, 6 months prior to the commencement of previous year from which registration is operating. Trust is inoperative. Suppose the trust became inoperative in 19 and 20. Now, are you all with me? 19 and 20, the trust became inoperative. Now, inoperative. Pen is giving trouble today. It has become inoperative in 19 and 20. Now, want to operate. Say from 1st April 2022, we want it to be operative. Then 6 months prior. 6 months prior to 1/4/22, you have to apply. And within 6 months, whenever you apply, you will get the registration. And registration will be valid for 5 years. Same story. Of course, they will inquire everything because this has become inoperative. When registration of trust is inoperative, chalo, whenever you want to revive within 6 months before that, apply, they will do all the inquiries and all. Whenever they want to do inquiries and all, no, they're taking this much time. Now the most important thing. When objects of trust. You know how important are objects of trust, dear students, our first class. When objects of trust are modified, changed, object of the trust are modified. Within 1 month of modification, within 1 month of modification, apply for re-registration. It's already registered trust. Are you all getting? It's already a registered trust, but now you have made some changes or you have not adopted. So now re-register the trust within 1 month of the modification. Within 1 month of modification, apply for re-registration. Same. And this re-registration and all, within 30 days, you have to apply. And within, whenever you apply, within 6 months, you will be given registration. This period is same. Within 6 months, registration granted. Within 6 months, the registration is granted and registration valid for 6 months. Registration is valid for 6 months. If you adopt or modify, when objects of the trust are adopted, they make new objects or they modify or they adopt the objects. Okay, now we will also work for relief of the poor and all. Modified or adopted word you can add. Within 1 month of modification, you need to re-register because now your objects have changed. And that new registration will be valid for a period of 5 years. Excuse me. Is this clear? Shall I go to the table and explain again, one by one? Last two are exactly same, considering the time limits and all. Check with me, dear students. When the trust is already registered, existing trust, within 3 months from the first day of the financial year, 30th of June, give the application, pass order within 3 months from the end of the month in which application was received, and it's valid for 5 years. When the trust is registered under 12AB and period of registration is due to expire, your period of registration is getting over at least 6 months prior to the expiry of the period. Okay, whenever your period is getting over. If yours is provisional registration, at least 6 months prior to completion of the provisional registration or 6 months after commencement, apply. Where registration of trust has become inoperative or where within 6 months prior to the commencement of assessment day from which you want to make it operative. Only very less time is there when the trust or institution has adopted or undertaken modifications of the object of the trust. Then within 30 days from the date of adoption or modification. Now, in all these cases, inquiry will be done. First and last, no inquiry. In all these cases, they will call for inquiry about the genuineness, about the compliance, and then only they will grant the registration and they will pass the order within 6 months from the end of the month in which you apply, and it will be valid for 5 years. And if they are not satisfied, they can reject the application, but they need to give a reasonable opportunity of being heard. Okay? Right. Now let us go to the last case. That is in any other case. That is new trust applying for registration. I did say this is new trust applying for registration. Okay. At least 1 month prior to commencement of previous year, relevant to assessment year for which registration is sought. Okay. Pass an order within 1 month from the end in which application is received, in which, in writing, provisional registering trust for a period of 3 years from assessment year from which registration is sought, and send a copy of order to the trust. Okay. A refusal order shall not be passed unless the applicant has been given a reasonable opportunity of being heard. Okay, that we all know. Whenever there are applications and all, they will give the time. Recent mock test papers, the questions related to this we will discuss when we do the mock test. No, that time we will discuss. Clear to all of you? Okay. Now, are there any cases registration is so granted under section 12A, 12B and so on? So what do you think? Are there any cases wherein these registrations can be cancelled? Answer is yes. We have seen this yesterday also, but just a small brief revision is required. The trust registration can be cancelled. Okay. Other details and all are there. When a trust or institution has been granted registration and subsequently the commissioner is satisfied that activities of the trust are not genuine. See, we granted the registration on 2 conditions, that activities are genuine and they are complying. So if the activities of the trust are not genuine, not being carried out in accordance with the object of the trust. Activities are genuine, but suppose their object of the trust is relief of poor and they are doing yoga, so they are not actually working for the object of the trust. Its income is applied for benefit of specific person like author of the trust. Specified person should not take benefit, no? It's not only author of the trust, relative of the trust, and there's a list who are called as specified people. So if a trust is giving undue benefit to specified people, trust author's brother, he's selling the product at very high rate to trust, or we are giving the product to the relatives of the author at very low rate, undue benefit if going from the trust. Next is, if income is applied for a particular religion, community or caste. But here I said for the woman tribe, for the scheduled caste, for a type of the community, they are allowing. So if the income is applied for a particular religious community or caste and all, or if the funds are invested in prohibited modes. 11.5 is giving a beautiful list. You can put the money in equity shares also now, in bonds, in deposits, in some debentures and all. Other than this, if you put your money, trust registration will be cancelled. Activities of trust are not genuine. They are not meeting the object of the trust. Undue benefit is given to author of the trust. Trust benefit is to a particular religion, community and all. And funds are invested in prohibited modes. Commissioners shall pass an order in writing cancelling the registration of the trust. No such order shall be passed unless such trust or institution has been given a reasonable opportunity of being heard. Commissioner can cancel the registration obtained under 12AA, 12A and 12AB. All these registrations will be cancelled. 12AB also will be cancelled. Okay. As we said that if they modify the object of the trust, then they have to apply for re-registration within 30 days of the modification. So what is that? Where a trust has obtained registration at any time and subsequently it has adopted or undertaken modification of the object which do not conform to the conditions of the registration, then trust should make an application within a period of 30 days from the date of adoption or modification. That's why we said if you modify, see, registration is granted based on genuineness of activities and the compliance of the trust for meeting up the object of the trust. Now, if there's a change or modification in the object of the trust within 30 days, then they have to apply to commissioner. And again, when they apply, how many days may ye valid hoga? Yehi wala. Within 30 days, they need to apply. Again, they will, within 6 months, they will grant the permission and it will be valid for 5 years. Adopted or new or modified, registration will be valid for 5 years. Anytime trust is not going to be granted registration for more than 5 years. Other than this, yesterday we have seen the reason, forfeiture of the exemption. Acha, when trust loses its registration and all, no, then trust is not paying the tax at the slab rates. It is paying the tax at maximum marginal rate, that is 42.744%, which we have seen yesterday. Okay. If it is a private purpose, if the income is used, if they are doing for particular community, if the funds are not invested properly, if income is applied for the benefit of the particular interested person and all. And who are the interested person? Trust can never give undue benefit to author or to any contributory, major contributory who's contributing more than, I'm just revising all this we have done yesterday. Where author, founder or person making a substantial contribution is HUF, then any member of the HUF. Is author, founder is HUF, then any co-personers and all, they should not like get undue benefit. Trustees, relatives of the trustees or any other concern in which these people have substantial interest, more than 20% voting right and all. So if say author is a shareholder of ABC Limited, in which this author of the trust is holding 60% shares, more than 20% voting right now. So ABC Limited may author of the trust is having 60%. Is this author having substantial interest in ABC Limited? Answer is yes. Now, can we give any undue benefit of the trust to ABC Limited? Can we sell our goods to ABC Limited at 80% discount? Or like this, can we purchase at a heavy rate? That all is discussed in this list. So no undue benefit can be given to interested person. No out of the way investment should be made. And the benefit of trust should not go to particular religious community. If it goes, then registration of the trust will be cancelled. Once it is cancelled and inoperative, again with inquiry and proving that, okay, now the activities are genuine, they can make it operative. I want some response because this is all amendments. I'm going to the next amendment also. Until now, any doubt here? Registration procedure is just one page, but all clear or not? And whenever you apply. Now, actually, 5 years from where and all, I can add on things, but too many things which are not required and not given in your material, even I have not bothered to add it. Unnecessarily, because we need to remember a lot of due dates in assessment procedure, our next topic. Assessment procedures, say many questions are asked and there have been amendment. 12 months time, it's now 9 months. Return of income also belated and all. Earlier it was 12 months. Now it is still December, 9 months. December 22 is the last date for filing the delayed return. So like this, many due dates are there. So what is important, relevant, I have discussed. But are you all doing 3D, 5D makeup of your book, which I have given this? In all these cases, inquiry is necessary. Existing trust, just update all your details on the portal and you will be granting registration within 3 months. New trust, we won't do any inquiry. What inquiry we will do? Yet the trust has not started. They've just applied for registration. So give them provisional registration. Once they do the activity within 6 months of the commercial activity, apply for final registration. That time we will do all the inquiry. Within 6 months of your application, we will grant you registration for 5 years. I have made you write in your notebook, but if you all can write here also, if you all can write it here also, that हाँ यहाँ पे space है ना, यहाँ पे लिख लो. On 1st April 2021, all pending. On 1st April, on 1st April 2021, all pending applications under section 12AA shall be deemed to be application. Shall be, if you are listening and writing, you will understand, even if I am not writing very good. On 1st April 21, all pending applications under 12AA, the old registration section, shall be deemed to be application under section 12AB. And all 12AB will apply. Within 6 months, they will inquire and they will grant the registration. This is the first time they have given this amendment. So we cannot make a trend based on the past exam. But one thing I'm sure, that they can ask you these dates in MCQs. Yes. Or some 3-4 marks case studies, 1 mark. So and so person has modified. Within how many days can he apply for the modified object? 30 days. New trust has applied. Within how many days they need to apply? New and existing trust, 1 month prior to the activity, and they get provisional registration valid for 3 years. Except for new trust, all the trusts who are registering, registration is always valid for 5 years. Existing trust, inoperative trust, modified trust, anyone, existing trust whose due date is getting over, they will all get the registration. And after 5 years, it's a simple procedure of re-registration. Apply for re-registration, upload all your details to the principal commissioner or commissioner of income tax and get the registration done. These cases are important. I am feeling they can ask you this as a theory question, if you can mark. What are the cases when the trust registration will be cancelled? If they are not doing genuine activities, if they are not complying with the object of the trust, if undue benefit is given to any author of the trust or any specified person, if the trust is working for a particular caste, creed, religion, narrow-minded trust is like a private trust. Private trust doesn't get any benefit. And if the funds are invested in the prohibited modes. So if we are all satisfied with registration, then 3 more important amendments in the trust, which I'm discussing right now with you all. It's all a revision we have already done. And you all know, before I go to that, it's all covered in your application. I've already written it in bold, check on page number 5 of this chapter. See. We all know, before I go to these amendments, 5 minutes I will take and complete this part. Charitable trust. It is required that whether they have given gross receipts or income, 15% you can set aside without any all formalities and application. Remaining 85% you need to apply for trust. You can apply in revenue expense taking care of section 40. You can apply in capital expenditure, make building and all, but then don't claim depreciation on the same. In application, there are 3 major amendments. Again, I'm saying these 3 are very major amendments and they can ask you small questions based on this. So let us check what are the 3 amendments and where they are, dear students, while solving the problem, application. Now you all know, no, while applying, we all know that when you apply for object of the trust, if you have received money on the last day, minus it. But don't minus and then do 1585. First only 15% set aside. Oh, 85% I need to apply, but sorry, 25 lakhs I received on 31st March 22. I can't apply, remove. Some is due but not received. Okay, next year, when you receive, you apply. Some is received, But then we have decided to apply it under section 11.2. In a block of 3 years, promise we will apply this. That is like CGA scheme of the capital gain. Here we have section 11 subsection 2. You are setting it aside with the permission of officer that, okay, we want to make a building of 4 crores. Right now, this 1 crore we are keeping separate and sure within 3 years. Maximum limit is within 5 years. So these are all routine applications. In that 3 major amendments are there, which you need to take care while solving your problems. Okay, let us see them one by one once again. First one I want to take up is, which one we should take? Loan granted to poor person and all shall be treated as application. However, when the loan is repaid, it shall be treated as income. You are not giving outrightly, you are not applying and giving away money to poor. You are giving them in the form of loan for some purpose. Okay, so whenever you give loan for education, medical and all, it is treated as application. But those people, when they repay the loan, it will be treated as your income. Next, where income is required to be applied or accumulated or set apart, then for the purpose income shall be determined without any deductions or allowance by way of depreciation or otherwise in respect of asset, acquisition of which has been claimed. If you have already claimed the expenses, depreciation will not be allowed. And if donation is given to other trust as a corpus donation, it is not allowed. Okay, here very important is, for us also, corpus donations received are exempt, provided we invest it in the mode specified in 11.5. Ma'am, corpus donations received are not income. They are capital receipts. So anyhow, they are exempt, no? Yeah. So corpus donations are exempt, but from this year, corpus donations are exempt, provided you invest it in the modes given in section 11, subsection 5. Those list. Okay, right? And when you give donations to other trust, voluntary and all, that is allowed in applied. But if you give donations under corpus trust, it's not allowed. What's the reason? If I donate to you as corpus donation, I am claiming expense. And for you, corpus donation will become income. So nowhere it will be taxable. Are you all getting? When I am donating to other trust, voluntary donation allowed. Corpus donations not allowed. Because for me, corpus donation is not income. It is exempt for me, provided I put it in the invested in proper mode. Now, application for charitable or religious purpose from any loan shall be treated as application for charitable or religious purpose in previous year in which loan or borrowing is repaid. Superb. I have purchased 15 lakh rupees plant and machinery by taking loan. Can I say 15 lakhs is applied? Answer is no. Why? Because I have not spent 15 lakhs. I have purchased 15 lakhs plant and machinery by loan. How much is the loan repaid? 3 lakh. So how much my applied will be allowed? 3 lakh. Is my example clear? This all we have done, but always amendments of the chapter I am revising in the last class. So this is the last class for the charitable trust we are revising. Okay, right. Any amount credited or paid out of income or other exempted entities or trust being contribution with a specific direction that it shall form part of corpus, it will not be allowed, we know. Calculation of income required to be applied or accumulated during previous year shall be made without इसको 5 star खिलाओ, KitKat खिलाओ, ये जरूर एग्जाम में आएगा. If the applied is more than your income, then in the previous year, it shall not be made without any set off or deduction or allowance of any excess of application of any earlier years. Last year, my income received was 10, but I have applied 12. Possible, no? Capital expenditure and all we do. Okay, my income received is 10, but I have applied 12. Anyhow, 85%. So till last year, whatever was excess application, we used to carry forward and set off. This year, from this financial year, it is not allowed. So this financial year, if my income is 50 and if my applications is 45, can I say, ma'am, last year ka 2 excess application ya set off karu? Not allowed. Suppose this year my income is 50 and my application is 55. Can I carry forward 5 rupees? No. Earlier years excess application set off is not allowed. This year's excess application carry forward is not allowed. It will lapse. No, the back point is, of course, they will plan and all. So these are the major amendments for the charitable trust. Registration part, you check it. If you have any doubt, we are starting with assessment procedure tomorrow. Then we will do some practical topics, math, which are very important. Again, we will do the appeals and revisions. So this will be the flow of the class. Till then, revise all these. You already have this material. If you want to highlight it or put some marks on the amendment point, do that. Only one amendment point I added, which is not covered here, is that corpus donations received under section, whatever section, but they need to be applied under section 11.5. Proper mode mein they need to be invested. One more point was there, no, that corpus donations cannot be applied for the income. Where did I miss out that point? वो भी तो amendment था. I have written here. One second. One more amendment I am remembering. I gave you all example long back. This is the flow chart and 1 second. EMI excess application cannot be set off. These are all examples we have written in the running class. Yeah, sure. It's a nice suggestion that small gap should be kept in each point, or we can definitely put a highlighter in between or change the color. Okay, listen to this point also. This is also very important, dear students. If corpus donation is received as applied, it is not allowed as expense. Ma'am, this is very clear. If we apply corpus donations, it's not allowed as expense. Right? Later, when out of the income received, if amount is transferred to the corpus donations, okay, then it is applied. Now see, frankly speaking, corpus donation should not be applied. Koi zarat hi nahi hai. But like in lockdown and all, many of the temple trust and all, they have applied corpus donations. So suppose your corpus donations is 50 rupees. I applied out of corpus donations 15 rupees. Is this applied allowed? NA, not allowed. Yahan tak clear hai. Next year, I received my regular income, voluntary donations and house property and business income. Wherever I do 15% and 85 wala logic. Routine income, I have received 100. Out of this 15 rupees, I have again put in corpus fund, or I have invested in section 11.5 corpus mode. So in short, what is this? What is the logic of this? That you have applied 15 rupees out of your routine income. Now here 15 rupees will be allowed. Answer is yes. I want to repeat. Out of corpus donations, if you have applied the money, not allowed. Next year, when you get regular income, and again you put back the money which you have withdrawn from corpus donations, that money will be taken as applied, because though you are putting it back in corpus se nikala tha, corpus mein you are putting back, but now it's as if regular income you have applied, and hence it is allowed. All clear to all of you? So here all the major amendments are over, and some of the students, honestly I'm saying as a teacher, I also know final you cannot learn everything. So with lot of emphasis, we have done charitable trust, more than 18-19 problems we have solved. But now when it is coming to political party, electoral trust, just don't leave it. But can we complete it in 5 minutes? I will discuss just in 5 minutes. And this is the way, you know, because if they ask you one question also, it's like going to be super scoring. Political party should be a registered political party under the Representative of People's Act. If they are doing any activity, they should maintain proper books of accounts. Their books of accounts are audited. They should file the return. These are all routine points. Now say political parties, house property, capital gain, other source, all is exempt except business income. Already one scanner problem, cafeteria. Political parties having 2-3 halls, no? So one hall they are running cafeteria. Dosa, idli, coffee they sell. Is this income taxable for political party? Answer is yes. How? These exemptions will apply if it is a registered political party. They keep separate books of accounts. Books of accounts are audited, and these two are super important for MCQs. Are you all writing? If political party is receiving registration from anyone above rupees 20,000 received in the financial year, above 20,000, they should have proper detail. I have received as a political party 21,000 from 10 people, but I don't have their details. It will all be added in my income. Second, donations above 2,000 should be received otherwise than by cash. If the political party has received 3,000 rupees donation in cash, ma'am, up to 2,000 allowed. No, once gone. Cash expenditure above 10,000 fully disallowed, no? Okay, cash donation received by political party above 2,000 in cash fully disallowed. Donations received above 20,000 need all the details, otherwise they will be disallowed. So these are like simple points you need to take care. We have solved this problem yesterday. An electoral trust is like a ye hai SSE, ye hai political party. You want to donate to political party, but you don't know how genuine, so you donate to electoral trust. And electoral trust, 95% of the income of electoral trust is donated to political party. That income of the electoral trust is generally exempt. There's so much to know for electoral trust. I feel it is not important. So here we complete with all the amendments. Any confusion in the registration process, do check it and message me. We are all connected through group, or you can ask me tomorrow.